Salam boys. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of compromising of faith. I mean, you'll see churches flying the pride flag around like it's some honorable thing when homosexuality is clearly condemned in the Bible. You'll see moderate Muslims being sympathetic to the Rainbow Squad's cause. What is going on, bro? What is this stemming from exactly? The root cause of this is ultimately, it all comes back down to ignorance at the end of the day. Because if you don't learn your religion, then you can't stand for what it believes in because you don't know what it actually believes in. You'll get a lot of people saying, oh, Islam is intolerant, it needs to be more tolerant. If Islam was tolerant, it wouldn't be Islam. There's also a big conglomeration or cooperation of people or group of people being too afraid of the creation. You're too afraid of being left out and seen as the other in society, when it should be the opposite. You should be proud of your faith. You should be flying it around with honor, the way these Rainbow Squad people do with their rainbow flag. So as Muslims, what do we even stand for? The title of this video is Stand or Fall. So what do I stand for in order for me to not fall? Ultimately, it all comes down to Tawheed, right? The oneness of Allah. What comes with the oneness of Allah? The oneness of Allah, the belief in Allah comes with His commandments, His rulings, ultimately the whole of the Quran and the Sunnah, just obeying Him. Now, if we compromise what we believe in and what God says to us is right and wrong, then what's the point of having Islam anymore? There's no Islam without these rules and expectations of what people how people should behave. I'm going to tell you a quote which I think links quite well to this. Ali radiallahu anhu said, "There is no obedience to anyone if it is disobedience to Allah." This links because people are trying to kind of get into the good side of these people that are, it's kind of like you scratch my back, I scratch your type of thing, which I heard people say it kind of was. But people who kind of support Muslims and then they expect you to compromise your belief in order to support them back. But it's obviously not Islam. What are some practical tips to overcome this? Stop being shy of your faith, right? Even if you live in a Muslim minority area, which is most places, in the West at least, don't be shy of what you believe in. The way these Rainbow Squad people will go around flying their flags, freaking wearing their flags, doing these massive protests, we should have the same, or we should have more honor and trust and pride in our religion. Ultimately, stop letting people push you around. Find a base and stick to it, and our base is Islam. Also, this links to masculine frame, which is what some people talk about in the the manosphere or whatever. But this links here too. Say you're on a river, I guess, and you're standing on a rock, and you have these waves, kind of like small waves crashing into you. You would want to stay on the rock. But if you're weak and you're just weak in general, you will be swayed off of the rock by these waves. These waves are the people in the creation which are telling you to go this way and that way and have this belief, have this view. But ultimately you need to stay on the rock, which is Islam and the belief in God and Tawheed and all of these things which are righteous and upright. I think that's a good way to end the video, to be honest. May Allah grant us success in this life and the next. Say it, boys. Take care.